Um, Good afternoon. Thank you very much. My name is Engineer Kenneth Nyundu, the Director General for the Water Resources Management Authority, commonly known as Warma. We are here at the Agriculture Show. Would like to appeal to the general public to visit our stand. It is situated in the Jubilee Hall. I think for us, we are very, very excited as an institution to participate in this event. After a few years, it was put on hold. I think we are taking advantage of this event to showcase our services and try to help the general public to understand this resource, which is very precious, water resources. What should be done if someone wants to use it commercially and or whether domestic, the do's and don'ts to ensure that we sustain the availability of this resource. We do not degrade it or deplete it. As we are much aware, we need to ensure that this resource is available for future generations. This event, with its theme, innovation and technology, I think as an institution, as a regulator, we have moved a step forward in terms of being innovative. We have re-engineered our systems and the processes to ensure that the service we give the public is very, very efficient. I think even in terms of those who are coming through to get permits, now we've shortened the period under which you have to wait from 6 months to up to a year in certain instances, now just taking 2 months and a half at most. Then you have your permit. I would like to also share with the general public, our users, just why should we exist as Warma? Why did government create this institution? I think you understand that water is life. Now, there can be no economic development in any sector without water. So this resource is very, very precious. And therefore, it needed to be regulated. It needed to be managed. So as an institution, Warma is there to ensure that we regulate the utilization. Why are we regulating the utilization? It's because we have to ensure that commercial use and domestic use, there's equitable utilization, and that no one should be disadvantaged. Each user, current and potential future user, should have equitable access to this limited resource. So as an institution, as a regulator, we ensure that this is done. Without Warma, it would mean that one person can wake up who has financial muscle and just block the whole river, regardless of who is downstream. That can never happen with Warma in place and the law which is there. The other aspect is also to understand that as an institution, we are playing a very critical role in supporting other productive sectors. We collect information on water resources. We call it hydrological data. We have monitoring stations countrywide, 167. Scattered all over the country on water bodies, rivers. Now, the information we collect there, we have a national database. This is the information we use to come up with infrastructure in designing Kazungura Bridge. You cannot design Kazungura Bridge without using hydrological data. You cannot design a dam without using hydrological data. You cannot design an irrigation scheme without using hydrological data. Water supply in terms of planning for future cities, the new districts, you need to understand the demand. So you need to understand what is the source, what's the potential, is it able to sustain the economic activity, the social aspect. So all that information rests with us. It's available for free. People can come to Warma, get this information so that we avoid dams being washed away. Some of these dams are being washed away because of using inaccurate data. Dams are collapsing, rather bridges, because of using wrong data. Now we are appealing to all the stakeholders. Please come and get authentic data from the institution. Apart from that, we are also preserving and conserving the resource, ensuring that no one is polluting it. So we will not allow an individual or an entity to do activities which will have a negative impact on this resource. So such activities are forbidden under the law, and we take action if someone does not abide by the advice we give them, just to ensure that this resource is protected. Because once it's contaminated, it's very expensive to clean it up. that is adding a cost of production. If you're in soft drink production or water supply, it becomes very, very difficult, expensive to clean up this. Talking about the same resource, especially groundwater, it even becomes almost impossible to clean up groundwater once it's fully contaminated. So we have to ensure that we protect this resource. Apart from contamination, we are also there ensuring that, because you see, groundwater is replenished from rainwater. There are certain areas which are natural infiltration areas where water infiltrates to replenish our groundwater. What we have seen, and I'm sure you're aware, that now when you are drilling a borehole, you have to go over 100 meters, 150, 170, just to strike an aquifer where water is, which was not the case 10, 15 years ago. We could strike water at 40, 50. So what has happened? It means the water table is going down. Why? There is less recharge. Why is there less recharge, meaning less water replenishing the groundwater? It's because we've tampered with certain areas where water is supposed to infiltrate. We've built houses, in the name of development, we've built industries. So that kind of haphazard kind of development is negating the very essence of having economic development. So we want people to do these things in an orderly manner so that we sustain. This development should be sustainable. It's not only for us, but also for our future generation. Again, as an institution, as a regulator, we are responsible for regulating the drilling of boreholes. Now you are aware that you cannot conduct business of drilling boreholes without getting a license from Warma. So all the drilling companies are licensed. Now, what is the purpose of licensing? They have to uphold those conditions of the license. So the condition of the license includes the specifications they have to follow, construction specification, on how they should drill the borehole. Why? Because in the past, before we started regulating them, you could hear complaints from people, boreholes were collapsing. A bore drilled today, it takes 3 months, 6 months, your pump is bent, the bore has collapsed. That is not supposed to be the case. A properly constructed bore should last for more than 50 years. We have right now boreholes which were constructed before we got independence. They are still operational. It's because they used correct specifications. And that's what we are comparing the drillers to do. For the general public, we are telling you that now you have Warma. If you engage a driller and you are not satisfied with the service, come through, write to us, whether by email or letter. We will come in to ensure that we mediate and resolve that issue, because we don't want any person to be disadvantaged. You know, money is hard to come by. So once we invest in a bore, we don't want someone, there are some scrupulous people who want to take advantage of the desperation of certain people want bores. But we are trying to tell the people that let these drillers stick to the conditions, the specifications we've given them. Should you notice that they are not following, please come through to our offices. We're in Lusaka, Livingstone, Kasama, Chipata, Kabwe, Mansa. Or if not, please write to us, phone us. We will definitely give you the guidance and the service you need. We also want to urge the general public that in terms of boreholes, please come through. If you want to drill a borehole, you still have to come and register at no cost. There is no more paying for registering a borehole or getting a permit to drill. But you have to come and get that permit before a driller can drill, either yourself or the driller. Why is it important? Because when that is done, when the driller now finally drills the borehole, he's compelled to provide information on that borehole, hydrogeological information. Very, very important for us to understand the characteristics of the groundwater, the aquifer, the potential. Now, you know, when you have so many boreholes and you have this information, we are able now to assess and actually say no, and advise policymakers to say no, the rate at which the groundwater table is going down is alarming. We should have documented evidence, and that we can only get if we are having information from these boreholes through registering, and once it's registered at drilling, the drillers, they are compelled to give us that information, which we store in our database. So in short, I would want to urge the general public to come to the show, Jubilee Hall, visit our stand, and get first-hand information so that you are not cheated, so that you also join forces with us to protect this precious resource.